guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexa, and today I will be doing a type of video that I don't think I've ever done. I will be recommending you books, and usually most of my videos are more like reading challenges, reading vlogs, or like wrap-ups and TBRs, but no, today I'm gonna recommend you books based on different tropes that I enjoy. So yeah, let's get into this video. Okay, so the first trope, I just have to grab the books. The first trope that I will recommend you books based on that trope is second chance romance. Now, I used to hate that trope until I found books that actually did it well. So I'm going to start with the ebooks. Yeah, I'm going to start with the ebooks for every category, and then I'm going to switch into my physical books that I actually have. The first one is Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. This book is, I loved that book because it was a mix of like adventure and romance. So like there was some mystery, there was some like things that they had to do, and then there was the actual romance, which I think for that book was just a perfect mix. And the second chance romance was so well executed. Like I saw myself rooting for them the whole time. After that, it's another one of my favorites of all time, and it is Ghosted by J.M. Dower. This one is probably I think it's my top 3 favorite second chance romance, just because it was so good. I cried at a few points. I read it in one sitting, and it's basically about this guy who's a celebrity who used to date this girl who, like, when they were both normal, and they had a kid, and then he, like, something happened, he left, and then I'm not going to say more because it would spoil the book. But after that, I have 5 recommendations for this one. The next one is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hoggle. Now, I know I have the UK cover. I ordered it off of Amazon, and it came in the UK cover for some reason. But this book is a second chance romance. It's about these 2 people who are currently engaged. Their wedding is in 2 months, but they both are so sick of each other and low-key kind of hate each other. And the book is them trying to make the other one break and say, okay, this is over. Because the first one who breaks, the one who breaks up the wedding, has to pay for everything for the wedding. That's like all the deposits and all that. So yeah, it's really good. I recommend you read it in like the winter time though, like especially around Christmas, because it's from October to like January. I read it in like December and it was perfect. Next one is another book by Christina Lauren, and it is Love in Other Words. This one is a second chance romance where basically you see things of like them, like they were together as children, but then something happened. You don't find out what happens until like the end, so I'm not gonna say what happened, and you have to try to figure out what happened. Something happened that they weren't together anymore, even though they were together for like ever, and like were in love with each other for like ever. Now this next book is probably one of my favorite books of all time, and it is Final Offer by Lauren Asher. Now this book is about Lana and Callahan, who were together when they were in their early 20s, and basically in this series it's about the Kane brothers, and basically their grandpa died, and for like each one of them has something to do before they so they can get their inheritance and their part of the company, because the grandpa owned basically the world's Disney World. So his thing that he has to do is he has to go to the lake house, spend the summer there, and sell it. And the thing is, Lana also owns the lake house, and then it's a whole thing. It's so good. I recommend you go read that entire series. Now the next one is Academic Rivals to Lovers. I only have 1 book for this trope, but I love the trope. Well, I loved it once, so I need to read more of it. But yeah, that book is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. this book is basically about these two people, and it's their like they're playing, I think, senior assassin. I'm not sure. I think so. Oh no, Howl. It's, I thought it was senior assassin when I was like a game that their school has called Howl, and basically they have to like run around their city, Seattle, and do things. And yeah, they're both like fighting for valedictorian. So that book is so good. Now the next one is Enemies to Lovers. Now the first book is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Now I loved that book. That is such a good book, and I feel like it did Enemies to Lovers so well because there was like the enemies and then they were friends. Like it wasn't like the I hate you and like I'm really mean to you to immediately lovers, because I personally feel like that's very unrealistic. I mean, I know it's books, like sometimes you need an unrealistic book, but I just feel like when they like do it that way, it kind of annoys me. But yeah, but that one does like the perfect transition of like the enemies to kind of friends-ish and then to lovers. After that we have sorry, I just realized that I put two books in the wrong section. Oh well. But yeah, basically I like the next one is Wrecked by Lauren Asher, of course. Who would I be if I did not have a Lauren Asher book for every single, like not every single trope, but for most tropes? Like honestly, in this video there was every single Lauren Asher book. But yeah, it's Wrecked by Lauren Asher, which is the third book in the Throttled series, which is a not Throttled, Dirty Air series, which is a book about Formula One drivers, which personally, if you know me, I love Formula One. But yeah, it's a really good book. It's Enemies to Lovers. It's amazing. I don't know how to say anything without spoiling it for that one. And now the last ebook, well, like the book that I don't have physically, is To Hate Adam Connor, which is the second book in the To Hate to Love duology. It's available on Kindle Limited. At least in Canada it is. But yeah, it's really good. I would definitely recommend it, but I personally preferred the first one. Now for the physical books, I have, I think, 6. Well, technically, 8, yeah, but still. So the first one is Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. I cannot recommend this series enough, and also it's YA, so anyone older than like 12, I think, can read it. Wait, it says here, it's supposed to say somewhere what the age range is. I don't know if it does though. I'll try to find it. It does not say, I think. I mean, it's in like the children's book area, so like it's always in the YA area, so definitely like if you're, I think, older than 12, that's YA, or older than 13, I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely go read it now. It's like the Enemies to Lovers, yeah. I mean, you might read the first one and be like, oh, it's kind of okay, but trust me, read the entire series. It gets amazing at like the second, third book. That's when it goes like uphill. The best book is the third book though, in my opinion. After that we have Loathe to Love You by Ellie Hazelwood. I recommend all 3 of the novellas in this because it's a collection of novellas. They're all enemies to lovers. Yeah, and some of them have like other tropes like forced proximity, second chance, but mostly enemies to lovers. And actually 2 of them are close proximity, yeah. But and one of them is second chance. So all of them are enemies to lovers, but Under One Roof and Stuck With You are second chance, and oh no, not second chance, are forced proximity, and Below Zero is second chance, kind of. Now the next book is a fantasy. I have a few fantasy ones actually, because I love fantasy. I'm now getting back into like my into reading books that aren't only romance. But I can't read a book without like a small romance undertone. But yeah, this book is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is also a second chance romance, and well, it's like first and foremost, it's a fantasy, but like the romance in it is enemies to lovers and second chance to romance, so it's like lovers to enemies to lovers. It's amazing. I recommend this duology, but prepare to cry in the second book. I literally got an arc of the second book. I was reading it last year. I was reading it in school at the cafeteria because I needed to finish it. And the thing is that I couldn't, when you have an arc, you can't tell the ending to anyone until it comes out, and it wasn't coming out for another 2 weeks. So I was just reading the end of the book and crying in my school's cafeteria, but I couldn't tell anyone why I was crying. Well, I could say like, oh, it's because there's a really, like, I'm crying because of the ending of a book, but when they were like, oh, what happened? I couldn't tell anyone, so it was really frustrating, but it's fine. Now, the next book is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I love this book. I need to annotate it, not annotated it. But yeah, this one is Enemies to Lovers, and it's really good. I really recommend it. I mean, I really recommend any Ali Hazelwood book. As you will tell by the end of this video, Lauren Asher, Ali Hazelwood, and Anna Huang are definitely probably my top 3 authors. But yeah, this book, amazing. Great enemies to lovers. Wow, I love how but almost half of the books that I recommend in this trope is like fantasy, because this next one is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. I need to read the second one, but I read this one and it is so good. I enjoyed it so much. I read it as a buddy read with one of my friends last year in January 2022. Yeah, I got we're in 2023, I forgot. But this is such a good enemies to lover, like fantasy enemies to lovers, and it's like slow burn, which is like really like, it's like a like the frustratingly good slow burns where you like just kiss already, but like at the same time you love slow burns, so it just like you don't want them to kiss, but you also want them to kiss at the same time. Now this next one, I'm pretty like from what I can tell so far, it is enemies to lovers. I haven't finished it yet, but so far I'm really enjoying it. It's a very controversial book, not like because the author is controversial, but well, like not in a problematic way, but just there was a lot of discourse about this book on TikTok, and it is Light Lark by Alex Astor. Now this book, like personally, I don't get what people say. A lot of people are like, oh, it's like it has very childish writing, like she uses the word like yolky ones, like this, or yolk thing. She said like the sun is like a yolk thing. Okay, sure, but don't forget that she wrote this book when she was like 15 or 16. So like, yeah, but I personally enjoy it very much, and I would recommend people to read it. Now the next one is probably one of my most read tropes of all time, and it is fake dating. I have more that I've read, but these are the only ones like I really recommend. And those books, well, it's fake dating / marriage of convenience. I'll tell you before like every book, or like, well, while I'm recommending you the book, because some people prefer marriage of convenience or fake dating. I love both because in my head it's like the same thing. So for the first one, it's fake dating, and it is Redeemed by Lauren Asher. Basically it's the 4th book in the Dirty Air series, and basically it's about Santi and Chloe, and a lot of books I don't know what to say if I don't want to spoil it, so go read like the little synopsis if you want to like know more about the book before, but I just recommend you read it. Once again, it's the Dirty Air series, so it's Formula 1. The second one is another Lauren Asher book. Sorry, my back is like really itchy right now. It is Marriage of Convenience, and it is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. It's one of the best, one of the top 3 book in the trilogy. I know I'm saying it in a sarcastic tone. It's like in the Dreamline Billionaires trilogy, the one with Fine Print and Final Offer, and basically it's about who is it about? I completely forgot. Wow, wait. Iris and Declan. I think Declan, who is the oldest of the 3 brothers? pretty sure, and Iris, which is a girl, and basically his thing is that he has to get married as well and get a kid, I'm pretty sure. I think that's it, like the thing that he has to do to get his inheritance. I don't know. After that, it's To Love, Jason Thorne, which is this first book in the To Love, to Hate duology. That book is basically this girl who knows like this actor from her childhood. It's like brother is best friend at the same time. Well, basically she's also a writer, and he gets cast as the main character for one of her books as like in the adaptation. And basically his like their publicists are like, oh, you guys should date for the like, you should pretend to date just so it makes the book like the book better. Not the book better, but like so we get more press and publicity. And yeah, that's what I can say without spoiling it too much. After that, we have Marriage for One by Ella Mays, and basically they have to get married for, I cannot remember the reason, but I just remember me really enjoying this book, like crying. Like I often cry during books, like even if it's happy, I cry. But yeah, crying because I was happy for the characters and all that. And the last book that is not physical that I have for that list is Black Ties and White Lies by White Lies, Black Ties and White Lies. Ignore that. I don't know where that accent came from, but this is a fake dating / engagement of convenience, I guess. I don't know, they don't get married, like in the book, it's not like they get married for convenience, they get engaged for that. And yeah, it's a very good book. It's like the type of thing where like, oh, I'm not really, but I have this reputation of being like a guy who sleeps around, and like I need to like pretend to settle down so I can look good for like, because I'm a CEO and all that. Yeah, now the next 3 books that I have for this trope are physical. And the first one is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, and basically it's about Lena, who basically told her entire family, oh yeah, I have a date and I have a boyfriend for her sister's wedding, when she in fact didn't. So she basically, Aaron just says, oh, I'll be your date to the wedding, and they're also enemies kind of at work. So it's they work also in the same place, so it's like a workplace romance. Not really workplace, just they work in the same place. And yeah, the next book, I probably recommended it 15 million times. I've read it like 3 or 4 times. You all probably already know which book it is by the description that I just gave. But that book is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This is also Grumpy Sunshine, but I thought like this is the first fake dating book I think I've ever read. It is the first fake dating book I've ever read. And actually it was, I think, my second romance book of like when I was starting to read romance, it was the second one that I read. The first one was People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Oh my god, I didn't even recommend any Emily Henry books. Anyways. But yeah, basically this one is just so good. It's fake dating. It's about this Olive who like I think went on one date with one of her friends and her friends who is also her friend's crush like with this guy, and her best friend is like, oh, I don't believe you that you're over him, like I won't date him until you like prove me that you're over him. And she's like, well, actually I have a boyfriend. And then in the one point she's like, oh, I'm going on a date with my boyfriend. And then she's like, ooh, like her friend is like, oh, cool. And then she actually goes to the lab instead of going on the date that doesn't really exist. But she sees her friend there, her best friend, so she's like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And she randomly kisses the first person she sees, which is Adam Carlin. Yes, I do know that this was based on a Reylo fanfic. I don't really care. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I'm also, one of my celebrity crushes is also Adam Driver, so I really, like, it doesn't matter to me if it's a Reylo fanfic. It doesn't, like, add anything to the book, but it doesn't remove something from the book. I won't hate it more, or, like, I won't hate it if it's based on a fanfic. I actually love books that are based on fanfics. Like, I just love them so much. I know it sounds weird, but I love fanfic-y writing. Now the next book is a very YA 2012 book, but I love it and I love the movies, and it's still fake dating, and it is To All the Boys I Loved Before. I honestly forgot that this book was fake dating until I looked at my bookshelf and I was like, oh, what books are like fake dating? And then I saw, oh yeah, like this is, oh wait, no, so actually no, it is the first book that I read that was fake dating, I think. No, so this one wasn't the first fake dating that I read, actually. This one was. Yeah, I read this one in 2021. In like beginning of 2021, I had gotten the whole series for my birthday, which was in like my birthday in May 2020. Yeah, May 2020, and then I got this in, and then I finally read it in the whole series in one weekend in February 2021. But yeah, this one is fake dating. Now I have 2 tropes left. Sorry for how long this video is. Please do tell me if you end up not liking how long the video is, because I personally enjoy talking a long time about books, or if you have any other tropes you want me to like recommend you books on. Wow, I cannot speak anymore. But yeah, the next trope is Grumpy Sunshine. So the first book that I have to recommend for that one is, well, I recommend it even though it's my least favorite book in the series, but I still recommend it because you have to get started somewhere. It's Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This book is honestly such a, well, like, for not such a good, what was I gonna say? Oh my god, sorry, I got distracted by a text that I got on my computer because it's right in front of me because I need the list of all the recs. But basically it's a good book for the trope if you are looking specifically for the trope, but in general, for that series, it's not the best book. Now after that, we have, I know, another Lauren Asher book. The next 2 actually are Lauren Asher books. So we have Throttled by Lauren Asher, which is the first book in the Dirty Aries series. It is such a good Grumpy Sunshine. If you can tell, I love that series and I love Lauren Asher. She is amazing. I love her. Lauren Asher, if you're watching this, I love you. But yeah, it's such a good book and I just love that series. Now the next book is once again a Lauren Asher book, and it's also the first in a series, and it is The Fine Print, which is Zara and Rowan's book. It's the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, and yeah, basically he's very grumpy and she's very much sunshine. Now the next book is a book that I read it's the first book in the series once again, and I read the second one at the end, like really, I think end of February. And it is Things We Never Got Over. It is such a good book and I just love everything about it, and kind of has the single parent trope as well. Now this next book is also Grumpy Sunshine, I think, if my memory treats me well. I mean, it is kind of Grumpy Sunshine, but it's also Boy Obsessed, and that is Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. I love this book so much. It is so good. It is my favorite book in the Twisted series, even though it doesn't have my favorite couple or favorite characters, because my favorite couple is my favorite twisted girl is Bridget, my favorite twisted guy is Reese, and my favorite twisted couple is Reese and Bridget. My favorite book is Twisted Lies. I know it's weird like that, but it's so good. I recommend you go read the entire series. I love it so much. I actually ordered the other 3 books that I'm missing. They're on the way right now. Because I ordered a bunch of books off of Book Depository because they were cheaper there than on Amazon or in Indigo, because this book, or like Lauren Asher and Anna Huang books, or like Lucy Score and Mariana Zapata books in Indigo are like $27, $26, but it was $15 or like $17 on Book Depository, so I had to buy it there, of course, because I am broke. But yeah, now I have one last book for this trope, and I read that book so quickly last summer, and I actually bought the second book immediately after I finished it, and that book is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I love this book. It is such a good Grumpy Sunshine, and it is based on Schitt's Creek, kind of, the couple, so it was really cute to know that, since I'm a big fan of Schitt's Creek. I love it so much. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, like, even from there, this is Alexis and this is Mutt. Like, you cannot tell me that this is not Mutt. This is the embodiment of him. Like, I see that, I literally just, I just see him. But yeah, even in the book and the way he acts. Now we have one last trope. The first book in that, the trope is Friends to Lovers. The first book that I have for that trope is Collided by Lauren Asher. I love that book. It is so good. It is the second book in the, second book, what was I gonna say? Second book in the Dirty Air series, and also part of part of the book happens in my area, so I feel very like happy about that. And the next book is one book that came out in January. I actually got an ARC for this and I loved it so much. It is The Reunion by Kayla Olson. It's also a celebrity romance. They're both celebrities, and it's basically their second, it's their, like, they were childhood friends while they were shooting the show, but then something happened, and then, you know, they were both kind of in love with each other. Now the next book that I have, I finished it on Sunday morning, actually. I loved it so much, and it is A Cuban Girl's Guide to Teen Tomorrow. Well, in the beginning of the book, they're not friends yet, but like they become friends for a while, like a long time, and then they become lovers, and it is so good. And Kit Connor is actually going to play the guy in the adaptation, and I'm so excited. Now, for the last book, I've already recommended the first book in the series, so this is the second, and it is Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This is my favorite book out of the two. I know a lot of people really disliked it, but I adored it. I just thought it was such a good book, and yeah, I loved every aspect of it. I loved how she was into music as well. But yeah, those were the probably 20-something books that I recommend based on these 6 tropes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider leaving a thumbs up, liking this video, commenting down any other tropes you want me to recommend books on, any other books you recommend for those tropes, and please consider subscribing as well if you aren't already and you enjoyed this video and want to see more of my content. And also, if you want to see even more content, I have all of my socials linked down in the link tree in the description of this video. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, morning, evening, whatever time it is for you. So yeah, bye.